Sound like a car salesman. Let's try this again. In today's video, I'm gonna tell you guys how I made over 150K, and I shit you not, my first year in my service-based business, and I'm gonna tell you how you can pretty much do the exact same thing in only 3 steps. 3, count them 3. Let's do this. All right, I'm gonna get through this bad boy as quickly as I can possibly do it. There's a lot of information to cover, so let's just dive right in. Choosing the service. But now, before I tell you what to choose, I'm gonna tell you why services as opposed to selling a product or something like that. Services are a very unique form of business in that you're making money off your labor, as opposed to selling a product where you have to come out of pocket a bunch of cash, buy the product, and then mark it up, and also have enough capital to market that product and hope that people actually want it. Services are needed. People are hiring different service providers all the time, and they require very little in the way of like startup capital. You basically buy the tools needed to produce that service. Most of those tools last a long time, and it compared to like getting your first product or something like that, they're cheap. There's your why. Here's the how. In my opinion, you want to choose a service that first off you have a knack for, or that you have an aptitude for, and finally that you are truly passionate about. I chose the t-shirt printing business simply because I'm passionate for the graphics industry. So it just made the most sense. If I was looking for a service, I was either going to pick graphic design or I was going to pick some form of printing service. And t-shirt printing it was a perfect fit. It may be a very different situation for you. You may be super into like fitness and health, and you could provide a service giving people personal training or yoga classes or dance classes. You could just be really handy, and you can do like handyman repair, or you may have skills already in a particular trade, be it plumbing, carpentry, some form of electrical work. The list goes on and on and on. Find something that you're passionate about, that you can see yourself doing for the next 5 to 10 years, and just like lock that down. Once you've kind of locked down the service that you're going to get into, it's really quite simple. You got to buy the tools for that particular trade or for that particular service. And you know, this can vary wildly. If in some cases you may only need a few hand tools, so in a lot of cases you may only need a space and nothing more. Do your research to figure out what it's going to cost you to kind of enter into that particular service. Now, once you know what your costs are, you got to finance that equipment. And I cannot stress this enough. Do not take out a goddamn loan. Everybody thinks that if they want to start a business, they have to have financing, and it's just absolutely 100% not the case. That's the beauty of services. You're just buying the tools. In most cases, you will be able to get set up from anywhere between $1,000 to $10,000 in capital. And you're sitting there right now going, well, how am I going to come up with that? Here you go, guys. And guess what? You're getting into business for yourself. You're going to be working 60 to 80 hours a week anyway. You're going to be pulling double shifts. So get used to it. Keep your first job and take on a part-time evening job. It's that simple. And then all the income that comes from that secondary job or that secondary side hustle, you're going to take that, put it in your account, and that's going to be your account to buy the tools you need to provide that service. Simple. I understand. Netflix is amazing, right? There's just a million shows on Hulu. We got Game of Thrones, we got goddamn Vikings, we got Walking Dead. We want our evenings free, right? Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you are getting into any form of business, in any way, shape, or form, your evenings are not going to be free. So just get that shit out of your head. If you're the person that needs your evenings free, just stick with your day job. If you're ready to put in the hours, go get that second job, start squirreling away that cash, and you're going to be your own financier. I'm going to say it one more time. Do not take out loans to start your business. Just don't fucking do it. Number 2. This is the meat and potatoes of this entire video is number 2. The way that I was able to generate, I shit you not, over 150K within my first year of being in business for myself. It was very, very goddamn simple. Number 2, build your lead generating system. Yeah. You can actually skip number 1, other than like the first part of it where you choose the service you're going to go after. You can skip the rest of it, go right on to number 2, and start building your lead generating site right now. As soon as this video is over, you can go get started. That's it. That can be as far as you need to go within this video. The beauty of right now, 2019 and beyond, is this incredible thing on the internet that is called Google. Now, although it's highly competitive, most of the people, particularly in the service-based industries, do not, in any way, shape, or form, utilize Google to its fullest potential. And I'm gonna tell you right now how to do that. It's a simple little website builder called WordPress. Why WordPress? When you have Squarespace and Wix and Shopify and all these other things, and they're all just so simple, right? Well, the reason that I believe WordPress is the best platform is exclusively because of the fact that you own that content. You own whatever it is that you've created on that website. If you host it on, let's say, InMotion Hosting, and they're not giving you the page speeds you want, you can switch your WordPress website over to AWS. If AWS isn't giving you what you want, you can take it over to Microsoft's hosting platform. What you're ultimately doing when you build a WordPress website is you're carving out your own little piece of the internet that you more or less own. And if you're wondering what it is exactly that you own on the internet, you own the content that you create for that particular website. Let me explain what WordPress is. WordPress is a framework that will hold the content you're going to create that Google is going to index. And if you create the content correctly, Google will find it to be the most valuable source of information available, and they will serve it up first to your potential clients when clients search for whatever it is that they're looking for. And that's how you're going to generate leads. Here's my story. I built my site, I learned SEO tactics, and I was able to get my WordPress website indexed on Google and showing up on the first page in local search before I ever opened my doors. And because of that, I kept my day job. I was able to finance and buy my equipment. Not finance, I was my bank, and I was able to buy the equipment I needed, start putting pieces in place. And by the time I had everything I needed, the calls were coming in so regularly that I was working my day job and then taking the phone calls during my work hours, and then I would go home in the evenings and actually do the work. And it got to a point where we moved on to step number 3. Number 3 is simply this: get forced out of your day job. Your website, if built correctly, and again, man, there's so much information out there. It's so easy to get done. Will allow you to build up your business, get everything in place, get the work, start doing the work in the evenings until you have so much that you are forced to make a decision. Move forward with the business that you've started, or stick with your day job. And of course, the obvious choice is going to be move forward with the business that you started, because that's what you set out to do. So you just went into business for yourself. And this literally 1, 2, 3 is exactly what happened to me my first year in business. There is a caveat to that. The year prior to my first year in business was spent kind of setting it up. Okay, so this is maybe the title is a little bit clickbaity, but hey, if I could sue me. And here's an interesting kind of rule of thumb. It applies to the t-shirt printing business. It may not apply to every business, but in screen printing, a one-man band can, like, basically with one press out in the shop, can produce anywhere between, as little as 50K, upwards of about 250K as a one-man operation. So this is kind of like the spectrum. You can produce that amount of volume by yourself. So one more time. Number 1, you're going to choose your service. Number 2, you're going to build your lead generating system. And number 3, you're going to get forced out of your day job by the business that you started. That's it. You're welcome.